Now another thing too, make sure your hose clamp is in good shape. Normally on customers' cars, I just replace them. It's not worth the 50 cents or whatever they charge for them to have it break off and then the car overheat and take a motor out. It can happen just like that. Okay, I'm going to reinstall the AC unit on the side and then we'll go from there. Okay, with that all reinstalled, obviously I had to take my bottom rad hose back off to get this housing back in place, but anyway. Sometimes that happens. Okay, now you need to put the fan back on, but you need the stud out of the other one. So I'm going to show you a little trick with this product placement. You get two nuts, and what you're going to do is put them on here like this, and you're going to lock them together. You're going to get two wrenches, one going this way. You're going to pull on it this way to tighten it up, the other one this way, tighten it up. Okay. With those locked together, if you get them just right, you can put the box end over top. And you want to get on the bottom one because you're going to be turning counterclockwise off. Now to hold the pulley from turning, you take a screwdriver, stick it through there like that. Okay? Now take it out. Okay, to reinstall it, you're going to clean your threads up first, obviously. And if you turn on that bottom nut, well, you got this thing in there. Sometimes they're different threads, so you got to watch that too. Just makes it easier to go in. Okay, you're going to tighten it up, and you're going to turn on the bottom nut. So when it gets tight enough into here, that nut will break free, and then you can just slide them off your fingers. Okay, then reinstall the fan. Now, normally these things bottom out when they go so far. This one seems to want to go all the way through. The water pump must have been made in China or something. It was going too far through here, so we're just going to leave it right there. We're going to unlock our nuts and then reinstall the fan and shroud. But now, if you wanted to, you could go back, grab on these with vice grips, and heat the nuts out, take them out. But you know what? We're just going to leave that. Just put it back in like that. You have to start each one of them at the same time, like a little bit. Don't tighten one up. You have to tighten them up slowly, like to get them to draw in evenly so it doesn't get into a binding situation right there. Now, since I've been having this truck taking a long time to heat up, then we're going to go ahead and replace the thermostat too. Now, these GMs and others are notorious for breaking bolts on the thermostat. Thermostat's under the top rad hose right here. Now, this bolt here is double nutted. Usually has a wire for the ground for the computer, but someone's already rerouted it to the intake over here. So we're going to try to heat this up down here on the intake. Just tickle it a little bit, and then hopefully it'll come out. I don't feel like taking a long time this morning, so it's already been an hour and a half fooling with this camera. I should have been done half an hour ago. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. I don't feel like removing that broken bolt, but let's see if we can get it out. Try not to burn all your hoses in there. It's going to be kind of hard. Sometimes you can use an old license plate for a heat shield. You know, burn in it. Kind of difficult. Maybe the housing itself a little tickle too. Doesn't take much sometimes. Aluminum warms up really fast. So you gotta be careful. It turns molten really quick. Well, that's still hot. You gotta quickly friggin' get in there. Something coming out. Yeah, that's amazing. A little bit of heat. Now, you notice I didn't use the air ratchet here. So that you can't get a feel for the bolt. What I mean by that is, after a while, you work on cars so long, you get a feel for when the bolt's going to break, how much force you can put on it before it'll actually start breaking and let go. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to some of you it will. It'll make a lot of sense. Now you can see, and that's the old thermostat. It's been there quite a long time. I'm going to take a screwdriver in here, get the light just right, try to pry it out of there. It's no good now, so it helps if you get underneath it. You can lever it out, but since I got the camera in one hand, it's kind of difficult. Okay, right like that. Now, take the same thing with the hole here. Clean it up, scraper. In my case, I'm going to use obviously that's a different gasket. I'm going to use cookie grinder. Anyway, clean her up. Okay, go ahead and inspect your surfaces now. Now, if you're using a cookie grinder, be very careful with aluminum because it will chew all the shit if you leave one spot too long. Now you can see all the pit marks on that. It's not too bad yet. Now, if this was a customer's, I might recommend putting a new housing on it just so it doesn't leak. But that's not terrible. If it started leaking, then you know they'd obviously see it come back. But it's on my farm truck, so we're gonna leave it. And I got that one cleaned up, but I got the wrong thermostat gasket, so we're gonna get the right one. It doesn't take this type right here. It takes anyway, I threw it out. Okay, one more thing before reinstall. You might wanna, because these corrode a lot, take a thread chase, a tap I should say, and run it down through the holes. And blows, you can see that one, it's got water in it. Well, water is not, you can't compress it, so you might want to blow that out too. So anyway, now I was going to say, right before I refill the motor here, I would take this time right now to do it because the thermostat's out. So if you fill the block up, the rad up right now, and this comes up, you won't have any air in the system. So it'll save yourself a lot of time to warm the car up and then bleed the air out and all that shit. So if you fill it up right now and watch the coolant level inside there, when it comes up to the hole there, and then stop, obviously, and then install your thermostat and gasket and tighten it down, you won't have to warm the car up. You can just put it out and then go for a drive, and that'll be it. Now on this one, I don't have to do that anyway. I'm going to show you how to do it anyway, but this one has one of the heater hoses going right in the top of the rad, so that will also bleed the air out of there, so you don't have to do that. Anyway, talk too much. Now, you can see a little bit of dirt there. That's just the grinding out of the old gasket. It's not going to hurt nothing, but now you can see I refilled it. Now the antifreeze is up to the top, which means when I put this thermostat down in there, the spring's already going to be in the water. So all I have to do now is reinstall the housing and we're ready to go, and just fill up the last little bit, and that's it. You won't have to wait. You won't have an air, what I'm trying to say is you won't have an air pocket underneath, because this spring here, it's on the thermostat, needs water to touch it, and that actually opens it. It's a bimetallic spring, I believe, and it needs the water on it, the heat, and if the water's not touching it, it takes longer to open. And yeah, I guess that's all I'm trying to say. If you had an air pocket under there, it'll overheat because or get really hot because there's no water touching it. Put it that way. So now that the water's touching it, it'll open faster, blah blah, cycle through the system. I've cleaned my holes up. I'm reinstalling the top housing. I clean these up and put a little, get this in focus, a little bit of grease on them in case I ever have to take them out again. Okay, we're all done. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Now on that housing, I put a little bit of silicone underneath it too.